Hello, everyone. Happy Friday night, TGIF, right? It's finally Friday, and I had a great Friday. I actually went into town and had lunch with a friend and spent a couple hours just chatting and having a nice time, and we even had dessert. It was really nice. And it was snowing outside, hail and then snow and thunder. So it was really, really an awesome night. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Candace. Thanks, you guys, for joining. So today I'm going to be talking about how to expand out of your comfort zone so that you can get visible online, because I know that a lot of people are really afraid of being in front of the camera. And I know because I started on radio, and that was something that was really fun. I was interviewing people. I loved the ladies I was interviewing. And I was challenged to, I was challenged to actually do video. And I really didn't like to see myself on camera. I was like, no, I don't want to do video. But this was a couple years ago, and I knew it was the trend. I knew that this is something that I needed to do. And so I just said, okay. And what made it easier for me was interviewing people. Hey, Stephanie. What made it easier for me was being able to just get in a conversation with somebody so the attention was not just directly on me. And that was an easy way to kind of get introduced to being comfortable on camera. So there's some things that, make it easier. Of course, practice makes things a lot easier, makes you a lot more comfortable when you're used to doing something. And the only way that you can really get comfortable by doing something is practicing, right? So that's kind of my story. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Are you here from Vermont, right? Or New Hampshire, right? It's great. I was just telling everybody it was snowing today, so I'm sure you have a lot of snow there. So, if you want to get visible and you're ready to be seen, and you still have that kind of that nagging fear that maybe there's fears that we have, fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged, right? What are people going to think of me? Fears of not knowing what to say, or not being polished enough or perfect enough, right? So these things are really they kind of hide in the back of your head, and they just nag at you, and they're like, no, I don't want to do this, and it makes it much worse. So you probably know this, but your past programming, right? The things that you've been through in your life experience, your past, the things that have shaped your beliefs about who you are, these things are what come up, and they show up when you're starting to level up, when you're starting to get out of your comfort zone, when you're starting to move to the next level. These little fears, these nagging things come up, and they tell you that, you're not good enough. You're going to be judged. You're, all these things that keep us stuck. They keep you from doing what you really want to do. So I'm sure you've experienced the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur and the journey that we go through, right? Some days are really good, and some days are just really not good. So these highs and these lows actually start to even out over time. And what happens is you realize that when you expand, there's a plateau that you hit. And that plateau feels, after this big expansion, after you've done something like really out of your comfort zone, and you've done it, right? And then there's this plateau because you've already leveled up. And so that plateau feels like a downer. It feels like you're going backwards. And then those little nagging voices come up, and they start to, tell you you're not good enough. They start to tell you that you're being judged. And, Hi, Shannon. And so these things are, they feel real to us, right? And as you continue to expand out of your comfort zone, those highs and lows start to kind of even out because you realize, okay, this is just a plateau. It's because I've already expanded. I'm not going backwards. I'm just not flying high anymore right now until the next time when I get up there. So, oh, thank you for messing your diet up. You're welcome, Shannon. Wasn't it fun? I had a great time with you. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful up in Oakhurst today. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Thanks for joining. So glad to get your email today. And I was thinking of you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Michelle. I appreciate it. You're amazing too. You are amazing. I want to know what you're up to, how much progress you've made. So anyway, back to expanding. So you've expanded, you've done some things out of your comfort zone, you're feeling really good, you've done it, right? And then there's that drag that happens, that plateau that happens, and it feels like you're not going anywhere. And that's really not true. You just need to keep reminding yourself that that's not true. Chocolate lava cake anytime. You guys are funny. Yes, we had chocolate lava cake today, Shannon and I. We went to lunch and we had chocolate lava cake and it was really good. After, of course, a salad, right? So anyway, back to what I was trying to not lose track of, expanding out of the comfort zone. And then, so you expand, you rise, you plateau, feels like you're kind of like going backwards, but you're really not. And the more you're able to do this, the more you realize that it's just a process of leveling up. Each time you level up, there's going to be that plateau. And so the highs and lows get a little bit less. It's like it's not as drastic over time. And so here's a couple tips that will help you really expand, I like to say, gracefully out of your comfort zone. So one of the things is to get in front of your people, like the right people. Because if you're in front of people that don't want to hear your message or don't want your services or the solution you offer, then you're in front of the wrong people. And it's just going to make you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere and you're going to get frustrated. So all these patterns, all these beliefs that, I'm not good enough, I'm being judged, all that stuff comes back when you're not in front of the right people. And so if you're feeling like that, it's probably because you're not in front of the right people. So getting in front of the people that want what you have right now is where you want to be. You want to be in front of those people. So finding out who those people are is like, that is one of the first things that you need to do. Your brand message and then your audience. Who is your audience, right? I've talked a lot about that this week. So the other thing that you can do is you can speak from your heart. So it feels really good when you're able to not have to memorize things, when you don't have to, when you feel like you have to memorize every single piece and part of what you're saying, that's no fun. So when you're really connected to your message and you're connected to your people, you're going to be able to speak from your heart. You're going to be able to speak from your experience, from your own wisdom. And this is where you really become energetically magical. People are attracted to what you have because you're connected at that heart level. And that's what brings people in. That's what attracts people to your energy. So speak from your heart, speak from your wisdom. Don't try and, memorize or read things because it just falls flat. So when you're presenting, when you're talking to people, just speak from here. The other thing that you can do is you can write down your wins every night. And this is something that has been huge for me. And I can tell you I'm not consistent every single night, but I do have this little booklet here that I use that was given to me at one of my one of my VIP days that I was at, a retreat that I was at. And so I write down my wins, and it's not your to-dos, right? It's not like the things that you've done. It's what you've accomplished. Like, what have you overcome? What are some of the big things that happened today that you want to write down so that you can look back and note the progress? Because what happens is that we're so busy doing our business all the time that we don't take the time to really acknowledge all of the process, all of the progress that we've made. So everybody has come, farther than the first step where they started. And you have come, you've come a long way, probably a much longer way than you realize. And, if you're a high achiever, like I am, we just want to keep doing. We want to keep going, keep like next, and not celebrating those wins is really not a good way to do business. It's not a good way to look at how much you've accomplished. So you've got to kind of keep track of that. Like, what did you accomplish today? What are you really proud of? What are some of the hurdles that you've been facing that you've overcome? Those are the things you want to write down. Not like, I had 6 sales calls today. That's not the stuff you want to write down, right? It's like, what are the big milestones that you've accomplished today? So these are the things that to keep in mind as you are expanding out of your comfort zone and getting more visible online and facing those fears and actually moving through the fears. I always like to say, fear kind of beckons you. It goes, come on, come on, come on. Because where fear is the block, right? That's the block. And on the other side of the block or the wall or the door or whatever you want to call it is that next level. So you want to get through that fear because that's where all the magic happens each time you do something different. So if you are uncomfortable, go for it anyway. Just practice. Nobody's perfect. You don't want to be perfect, right? Shannon and I were talking about this today. You don't want to show up perfect because if you show up perfect all the time, people are going to expect you to be perfect all the time. And who's perfect all the time? No one, right? And so that's why, today I got to get dressed up and put some makeup on and jewelry, and I went out and had lunch. And so I'm done up, but this is not the normal way I look, right? You guys know that. So sometimes I show up in my raggedy clothes, and sometimes I show up without makeup on, and sometimes I show up with the messy hair. But that's not what you're looking at, right? When you're showing up, you're presenting your energy out there to the world. You're not just verbally talking to people, but you're giving them your energy. And so people feel that. They feel that connection with you. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're wearing funny clothes. It doesn't matter if your hair is a mess. You want to be presentable, of course, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So that's what I wanted to tell you tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you have not joined registered for my class, I have a free class coming up. I'm going to be talking about how to stand out online, and I'm going to be giving you some actionable steps that you can take, things that are working right now. Hi, Jenica. And Jenica is awesome. Jenica is amazing. I love working with her. So she and I are working together on Instagram, and she's just wonderful. So if you need help on Instagram, then go see Jenica. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. You guys are awesome. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. Do something fun for yourself. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the feed store or clean my house, but I'm going to do something fun. Go on a hike with my dogs or go on a ride with my husband or something like that. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week. Join my class. The link's in the above the video here. if you have any comments or questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer anything I can. All right, great seeing all your faces, your names and faces, little circles of faces. Again, love you guys.